Siyabingelela ubingelelo Babu Dokotela Babu Esizwe Babu Jabulile namhlanje siyashutha sise-Nedbank House Building sise-19th floor suite number 1904 to 1905. Our physical address it is 30 Albert Street in Durban. Thank you very much.
Hello Africa, hello world. This is Babu Dokotela, your host. Babu Dokotela, greetings.
Greetings to everybody.
Today we'll be talking about blend poverty eZangomeni. But before we get there, Babu Dokotela, I want us to talk about this negative, and I don't want to say they are pessimistic, but there are people who watch their peers going overseas to look for greener pastures. How do you think these people feel when they see their friends coming back, yet they've been sitting at home, criticizing, pointing fingers? How do you think they feel when they come back, improving their home conditions?
These things, they may sound odd, but they have to be illustrated and explained. Because you as a pastor, you're running a big church or a so-called a church or medium-sized church. But some of your colleagues, they travel countries and they bring something that can grow church. And then even your wife start to question that, Baba, look at these people. Look at they are now. We keep on criticizing. You are criticizing people who are bringing something to the table, especially for their children to eat. And then for the fact that people, they travel, we don't know what they do. But if you could travel, now we'll know. But whatever you'll be bringing back, it is something that can sustain your family or your children. And it happened to us as well as eZinyanga or traditional health practitioners that you sit around your house for too long. You see your business diminishes. You only attend one client every month till you look for a job. You start to meet clients at work because you'll be starting to do what is called human advertising, advertise yourself at the canteens, at the bathrooms, wherever you start to advertise, claiming that you are a big nyanga, all those things. But you are deliberately watching your colleagues leaving this country, taking passport, because they cannot tolerate to be poor once again. Because once you've been poor, and then it's like being given a parole from prison. You never afford that your parole will be invoked so that you'll be sent back to prison. No, there's no way that. Meaning that if your poverty start to welcome you back, you fight, no matter what it costs. You have to fight very hard. And then people, they do that. They leave this country for something that, not even this country, even this province, there are people from KwaZulu-Natal and Wedwe. They never travel more than 300 kilometers radius. I've got proof.
If you're in that, you've never been to
Newcastle. No, Ladysmith. Just Ladysmith. They've never been that far. Flagstaff, they've never been that far.
Never passed.
Matatiela, they've never been that far. And there are people who are just too analog. They are just too analog. They're always stationary together, but they want things to happen. Start to move out. Something will happen. Start to move out. Start to follow your friends. When they go, find out where are they going. So the next time you'll also go there. They will have to tell you the address where they went. Because in order for us to change, even like your car, it is like this because you bring the mechanic at home. You never take your car to the workshop so that it will be formally inspected and well serviced. Because when you bring things at home and certain things are not happening at home, you have to leave this house. Then things will start to happen. We got proven that was even in the Bible when the Most High God wanted to work with someone, he never used him in his yard. He always takes him outside the wilderness so that he can bring him well trained. Babu Dokotela said it.
Yeah, no, I get you, Babu Dokotela. Babu Dokotela, I've got a brother, Obafo, who's working at Lonmin. K4 underneath. What do you think that man is doing there? Because his life has never changed.
At K4, I'm talking to you as a person who's got matric, a person who's been playing rugby, a person who knows things, a person who's been trained as a security with grade A.
Sure.
But today you are working at K4 underground as a RDO. There's something called RDO inspector or RDO machine operator.
Sure.
And whatever you're doing at Lonmin, it won't benefit you. I'm telling you now. Whatever that you are doing at Lonmin, in any chamber, it could be K4 or surface, it's not going to change anything till you do something about it. Believe you me, The gold that you are mining, it does not benefit you anything, because one bar of gold, serious bar, 10 years ago it was standing at $1 million US. 10 years ago, you tell me now $1 million US versus a rand, we're talking 16.5 million.
Yes.
Just one bar.
One bar.
And you are trapped at K4 underground. Doing what? You've been working at Longman for 5 to 10 years. Doing what? How many gold bars have you generated? I'm saying to African fellow brothers, let's start to do something about this. Impala, wherever you are, Platinum, let's start to think out of the box, because whatever you're doing underground, it does not bring you anything from underground. You come up with your uniform dirty. Simple as that. Whatever you've been digging there, you are not seeing it. You'll be searched as if you are an inmate in prison, so that you cannot live with anything from underground, because they treat you as a suspect at all times. They don't search you when you go down, but they search you when you go up. There are so many CAT scan X-rays that they scan your body that you're not carrying anything that belongs to the mining. But when you go down, they don't scan you.
Is this not hazardous on your body? Does not
They don't care.
Those vibrations.
No, they don't care. Even the quality of air underground, it is so unclean in a sense that no one cares, because there are ventilators. There are companies that are contracted by the mining, private companies, to clean the ventilators. It is so expensive they start to cut cost.
Sure.
The filters that they use Chinese filters. They don't use Bosch filters or anything manufacturers with a SABS approved standard. They use filters, but fake filters. And then the quality there, whatever you're doing as a brother in any chamber of minings, please come out now and start to think. Babu Dokotela says, start to think. Start to think that I've worked 15 years now. What have I got? Most people who are working at mines, when they retire after 18 to 20 years. They don't reach 30 years, because within 3 to 5 years they'll be dying at home. So in the mine, you'll be excused from their cause of death. Whatever you're doing at K4, anything that you are doing then, I don't care what you're doing, engineer, whatever, come out, and then start to think whether you're going to continue doing this, or you're going to visit us and start to share your ideas, and we'll give you something that you can change your mind. Even by talking to you as a mine worker, we can also give you a vision, because you are not serious about this. If you are working for the mine, it happened that you injured your knee.
Sure.
There is no way you go there with a straight leg, because most of the time you have to knee. Just your kneecap. Because you can't knee anymore, you are not a product.
You're no longer productive.
Yeah.
You are now a liability.
You are a liability for the mining. Mining don't need people like you. They execute you. They don't
life?
give you a surface job. They execute you. They ask you to leave their properties, and they'll pay you whatever they owe you.
Yet there are positions on top of the ground.
There are plenty. We even qualify for those positions.
But they still won't give it to you.
They never. Babu Dokotela says, let's meet and start to talk something serious. Bring your knee to me. We will talk. Bring your lungs deficiency. Because people in the mines, because of their poor quality air with filters, because that filter that is ordered from China, it breaks down with small filter particles, and then it inhaled in your lungs, start to trap. Babu Dokotela says, let's come, sit down and talk. Bring no money, just talking. Talking, it will help. Bring no money, just talk, because I regard myself as a father, then I'm your father as well. Even underground, I'm still your father. Thank you.
Thanks, Babu Dokotela. Now let's talk to this another ungrateful person. This person is working, but you'll say, no man, ngiyatohoza. You see, when they say, no, when they call this job hustling, and I'm just hustling. Yeah, or I call it peace jobs. Do you have some money? No. I have some pennies. And that is ungratefulness. What can you say to that person?
I don't think it's an ungratefulness. It is an insult to your God.
Sure.
It is an insult to your God. Like you as a parent, you are struggling. You're working as a gardener in one of the family members. You're working as a gardener because of your children. We have to work. And then you buy him or her a shirt. And then their child will say to you, hey, this staunch thing, Let's do something else on. And it reduces you because for you to buy this, we have to work in the garden. And then anything that you've given by God or itongolako, we have to highly appreciate it. Because what we are cursing now, there are people. Let's say, look at your husband. Your husband indeed does have affairs outside, but your husband brings money at home at all times. Your husband has never been abstinential. He sleeps at home at all times. And you are busy persecuting whatever he does. He brings money, we don't appreciate. He brings groceries, we don't appreciate. He even buy cars that will be used by family. You still don't. You said, oh, you're buying cars for your beaches. But the problem that you are encountering is this. There are more than 10 women that are after your husband. There are more than 10 women that are after your husband.
Because more beautiful than you.
Not even beautiful, more ugly than you. It's just that they've got discipline.
Okay.
Because a decent man does not look for a beautiful wife.
Sure.
We need someone who's got a respect. Simple as that.
A decent woman.
Yeah, a decent woman. And then whatever you do, if we give you money, like when I give you like 20 rand, 20 rand virtually is nothing. But there are people who are begging for 2 rand. But I gave you almost 10 times than that. And you said, oh, Babu Dokotela, you drive a Land Rover, we only give me 10, 20 rand. No. The next person in a robot will be asking for 2 rand. But you highly don't appreciate 20 rand. Those people are greeted by the code. In the fact that our God who is holy, after some time, will remove your job and replace someone. Let's say currently now you're earning like 2,000 rand a week in your job. And after cursing God with the job that he gave you, God will remove you and replace with someone who's going to work in your company. That person will be paid 1,200 a week. That person will start to give him praise like nobody else's business. That person will be earning far less than you. But that person, first money that you earn, you will sacrifice a church. First wages or salary, he will sacrifice it and praising God for this job that he has achieved. And you were earning 2,000 rand. You were cursing the job, said, oh, I've got it. Oh. This company does not pays peanuts. This company makes so much money and they only pay us. And God will extract you and put someone there. And that person will be earning far less than you. And that person will highly appreciate God. And then the same thing applies. Your husband, whatever he brings at home, you don't appreciate. But God will remove that husband and send it to someone else. And then once your husband visit the person with 2 slices of 2 breads, that person who said, wow, how did you know that we need bread? We desperately need bread. Like past 2 weeks, we never have bread here. But you just bring 2 breads, white and brown breads. But at home, your wife used to bring a grocery. Your wife will never appreciate it. We got people like that. Your wife does everything for you. Cooks for you, does everything for you. When you comes, you just like a boss as if the world owes you something. You don't appreciate whatever your wife does. You don't appreciate. You want a cake, your wife will deliver. You want it, your wife will deliver. And God will remove this wife and give you someone who's going to cost you more than this.
And will suffer from heart attack.
Yes, let's start to appreciate things that are big or small. Let's start to appreciate. Even your staff or people who are working with you, start to appreciate them. Don't fire them, discipline them. Fire them if they are fighting or stealing. For petty stupid things, that's like sleeping on duty, all those things, coming late, all those dodging at work.
They are human beings at the end of the day.
No. You were doing worse than that. You were even stealing in the company. That is why you started this company.
Sure.
You were stealing. They are not stealing from, they're just sleeping on duty, and you are firing them. Start to appreciate them. You do not qualify to have even one person working for you because of your sins that you have committed before the son of the land. You know that. There are people who are late because of you. There are orphanages that are caused by you. Yet you got so many kumbis. And now you persecute people for sleeping in their kumbis. Start to appreciate. You are better than that. Thank you.
Thanks, Babu Dokotela. Now, Babu Dokotela, let's talk about eZinyanga. You know that the most supporters or the most customers are hostel dwellers.
What do you mean hostel dwellers?
the people who live in hostels,
Or like
especially
that dwellers, we call them dwellers now. They'll catch you and kill you.
I don't want to call them bachelors because they're called eZangomeni.
It's important. They can see you because you're on camera.
I don't want to use that word. eZangomeni.
Okay.
Yeah, but the majority of the supporters who support eZinyanga
Yes.
are hostel dwellers.
Yes.
Yes, these people are so poor. Wow. What is your message to eZinyanga about these people?
Let me correct the spelling. It may be people who are living in shacks. It may be people living in places like flats in Durban. This what you call home flats. These new flats that you've got.
These are DP houses.
DB houses flats. Yeah. What is it called? This is city life flats.
City life.
City life kind of flats, whereby the wall is a board. And they share one bathroom.
It's a dry wall.
It's a dry wall. If there's a noise there, you can feel the noise, you can hear the noise. If they're cooking, you can, or they're not allowed to cook there, they cook in the
there's a communal kitchen.
Communal kitchen. Yes. Yeah, even if they eat, we can hear the spoon hit him. Let's look at this spectrum, because this thing affects eZinyanga, affect eZangoma. It also affects pastors. We as eZinyanga, we have to do self-introspection, and eZangoma as abatandas, as abafundis. Because the reason why I have to include abafundis, because there are pastors who claim that they can heal someone. Once you start that, then you're a practitioner. There are people that come to me, I'll pray for you, you'll get a job. Now we are a practitioner.
They come strictly for that kind of
Yes,
service,
now we are not preaching the word of the Lord. You don't ask people to repent. We are no longer harnessing for the souls. No. Because God wants people to repent. That's all. Not that people, they must get jobs.
Repentance and forgiveness of sins.
Yes, not that they must get a job. If they've got cancer, they'll be treated by doctors. If they die, God has a plan for them. Simple as that. And then it is not for you as a pastor to mingle with those things. It does not affect you. What affects you is that the person will die and go to hell. We only rescue people from going to hell. Simple as that. But now our pastors, now they're like eZinyanga. They start to heal people with hands, all those things that I'm not mentioning. But now 80% of those people who are consulting with us, especially in hostel dweller shacks, at church, most people are poor at church. There is no a contest. They are poor compared to the cars that are parked outside versus members of the church inside. There are less cars. Look at people who are attending eZinyanga from hostels. They walk in, they walk out. They don't drive in and drive out. They will always walk in, out, in. They always walk in.
Straight to the train station.
Yeah, to the train station, or even support them to go to the airport if it's happened.
Yeah.
They never use airports. It was a train station or taxis.
Sure.
And the question is, are we not guilty otherwise? Are we doing it right? Is it what we are giving people? Is it effective? Especially eZinyanga and eZangoma. Is it effective? Why don't we give it to our children as well to see whether this thing is working or not? Like, I've got black stick here. I use a black stick to make sure that every batch is good. Or I give it to a friend of mine, else use this and tell me the results. Because everything has to be tested in all spaces.
Sure.
But the more that we give it to people, is it effective enough? Why so many people are still poor, but we claim that we got something that can help them to come out from this darkness of poverty? Because poverty on its own is a planet of certain individuals. Now, we as eZinyanga, we have to do something. Because as eZinyanga, we know what is called Ingoba Makosi. It is muti that is used for lucky. We know that we got so-called Umkanyagude. It is muti that is also used for lucky. What happened to those plants? What happened to those trees? Why don't we use them? Uvuma omhlophe, uvuma obovu are mutis that we used to ascertain luck for someone who's got misfortune. Why don't we use all that? Why don't we use all that? Let's just do something about this, because these people, they have trusted us with their money, but we are not desperate to help them. Thank you.
Yes, it's tough, eh? Thanks, Babu Dokotela. Babu Dokotela, you are saying let money hatch like eggs. Geza ngeqanda. What do you mean by this, Babu Dokotela?
Families have been poor in the presence of eZinyanga with the lack of using the umuti effectively. There is, in Venda, they call it Mushonga, there is Sehlara in Bedi, umuti that we use.
Sure.
When someone comes in with tears saying, Babu Dokotela, I've been trying a lot of things, we ask that person to wake up at 1 o'clock, get 4 eggs, 4 1 rands, break those eggs and mix with this muti. The muti must be white in color when you give it to you.
4 rands or 1 rand pieces?
4 1 rands, 4 1 rands.
1 rand pieces,
yes. And then 1 egg, 1 rand, 1 egg, 1 rand, because 4 rands, 4 eggs. Yes, it requires 4 corners, stands for 4 corners.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Yeah, we used like that. Thereafter, we be up, using the the eggs. We want you to bath. We want you to bath at 1 a.m., command, decree, and declare. And then once you finish to do that, take this and discard it outside of your yard. If the environment allows you, next day, you have to go and find a riverbank or a beach area where you'll bath with 3 eggs. How are you going to do this now? Firstly, at 1 a.m., we have to use this ritual. And then at daytime, we have to go to the river and take 3 eggs, break them, take those eggs, smear all over your body, and wait for like 5 minutes to dry up over you. And then take this muti that we're using last night and bath with it. Thereafter, we're just doing poverty cleansing using eggs, because we cannot tolerate and keep on claiming that we can help people while even us, we still need to be helped. Babu Dokotela has said it.
Now, how many times do I have to go through this process? Is there any restrictions to say maybe I don't have to be intimate in that period or what?
No, don't have to. There are no limitations.
Okay.
Because even your so-called wife,
even the red stick users can.
Black stick users,
can.
They must use it a lot.
They can still.
Yes, because take note, when you're talking about intimacy, you're talking about people who are married only.
Yes.
We are not talking about B and G. No.
We're not talking about romance.
No. We're talking about people who are married when it comes to intimacy, and people that must correct the spelling as well.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Babu Dokotela, you are saying let that dog eat away all your poverty. What do you mean by this?
People, they undermine their poverty. They think something will come right. No, nothing will come right. We are poor already.
And poverty is painful, Babu Dokotela.
Yeah, poverty is painful. Maybe we've never been poor.
Poverty is painful.
Hey, kids, we don't know what you're talking about. Maybe it's all theory. Maybe you
kill a man's pride.
Maybe you Google it on the internet. You don't know. Can you imagine lacking money to go home, puzzling around town trying to find someone who can give you 20 rand?
But Dokotela, I'm talking about lacking the money to buy igunya at school.
It's okay at school.
You know that pain.
No. I'm talking as an adult person now, puzzling in town, just to trying to find. Even you are scared to go to rank because even at rank you were there, worrying people about helping you to board the taxi.
Ish.
That is poverty. That is how embarrassing it is.
Yeah. Now let's just address it. Babu Dokotela, you are saying you let that dog eat all my poverty, and poverty is painful. It's degrading. What do you mean by this, Babu Dokotela?
Mr. To every watcher or viewers of this video, it is so important that when we apply this thing, we need to know how we apply this thing. What I do is this: I normally give you like 200 rand and ask you to buy me a wors or sausages and red meat. When you are coming back, because you're going to town and then I cannot afford to go to town just to buy that. And when you come back, you're going to bring me wors and a red meat. I will destroy you. And that person, that evil person, will take the wors and cook it. But that person will take the red meat and curses you and take anything and give it to the dogs. You'll be poor, breaking down to the level of the dog. Now, let's just try to reverse that, because I don't want to teach people too much about evil. Evil is bad. It's not from God. And then, to make someone poor, it's better to kill him. And what we do is this: we ask you to get red meat, and we'll give you Muriana in Isesotho, Umuti. We ask you to bath with this red meat for 3 days. Bathing with this meat continuous, repeating same, keep on putting Umuti and this meat. And you're going to take this meat. You're going to hold it like this. We have to understand, because this poverty thing, it is painful. People have made us poor, and then we were struggling. Even this level of our education is because of the poverty from our genealogy. You hold this meat firm, and you're making a declaration as you are holding this meat that any cases of my generation, anything that has caused me to commit so many abortions, any case that has caused me to cheat on my wife, any spirit that is eating things that's supposed to help me, I am today standing here. I authorize that spirit to come out and be given to dogs. Let the dogs eat everything that is against the will of God. Today, I surrender it to dogs. Let the dogs eat it and throw it to the dogs. Same thing that they do to you in order to make you poor. You'll be struggling, nothing will move. Nothing. And then for the fact that you are cheating to your wife so much, not to your girlfriend, you cannot cheat to your girlfriend, and your wife is cheating on you so much, and there's nothing that you don't give. It is a spirit that was released to her or to your husband. Any spirit that caused debt to be so much poor, you are working at Pick and Pay, you earning lousy 7,000, but nothing happens. You play lotto, play at casinos, nothing happens. It is a spirit, it is a spell that was released. It's a spell of the dogs. You have to meet someone who can reverse that. Babu Dokotela, I said it. We have to meet someone who can reverse that. Thank you.
Is that someone, Babu Dokotela, or I can go to any other person?
I go into any other person and tell that particular person that Babu Dokotela said, you as a Nyanga, you know the smoothie. It is mixed like this and this and this. I have to part with this meat. And that Nyanga, it is well academic in terms of spiritual realms. He's going to help you. If he does not, then you can come to me. But I do not invite people to come to me. I invite people to consult proper practitioners.
Because there will be traffic here.
Yeah.
Thanks, Babu Dokotela. Babu Dokotela, there's a family out there where things are falling apart as we speak. The livestock is dying, cars are getting stolen, buildings are getting burnt because the father of the house passed away after taking isithwalo. Now there is no one to maintain this kind of a lifestyle. Things are falling apart. What can you say to this family? How can you help this family? They are crying for help.
Isithwalo, it is very good. It is well maintained. Isithwalo, your wife has to know about it. Your wife has to know when you're going to wake up at 3 a.m. to steaming and chanting. Your wife has to know about that. Most people who have taken this thing, their family members does not know about this. They don't know. They just literally don't know. A man will come to Babu Dokotela with 200,000, take this thing, and that man will rent a room somewhere far and keep everything there because my wife is a believer. She should not see this. She cannot authorize this. Thereafter, the business will start to prosper and boom, not knowing that my father has an altar of isithwalo. When he demises, we don't know where this altar is. And wherever we go, we've been told that our father has an altar. And everything will start to break down because of that altar. But if we knew that our father had an altar, we were going to consult a professional practitioner and tell him about that altar. That altar can be revitalized and diverted to someone who's an elder at home. That is why things certainly breaks down into because that man had too much secret. That man, because your wife has to know if you've got an altar.
Sure.
We have to take your wife to the altar so that your wife can able to see that altar, so that when you die, he or she can able to consult with someone who will understand that altar. How does that altar functions? That is why things start to collapse. And then what you normally do is this: if you assume or you suspect that One of our family members has a sitwalo, and now things started to fall apart. Cars are getting stolen, broken, everything. We can reverse that. We can always reverse that. We know how to do it. How we do it? We take a red meat. We take you to the grave of a white person. You must know the name of that particular white person. And we will tell you to chant certain things 7 times to reverse that spirit that is negative. We'll be using same spirit. Babu Dokotela says, you can go to consult or we can come and help you. Thank you.
Thanks, Babu Dokotela. Babu Dokotela, sometimes when you say blend poverty, eZangomeni, to some people it sounds like these people sit down, analyze, and start working on the mission to be poor. You see, what do you mean about blend poverty, eZangomeni?
In Zambia, to be a professional Sangoma, it is banned.
It's banned.
Yes.
You are
In
no longer
Kenya,
allowed.
to be a professional Sangoma, it is banned. It is not allowed.
Sure.
It is not allowed.
You
Most
can be.
of the countries in Africa, they don't allow you to practice professionally if you are a Sangoma or a Nyanga. But in South Africa, the Stellenbosch Mafia and the hierarchy has planned it differently. They did not ban it, but they made it impossible to prosper. Number one, the 4 banks of South Africa, if you practice as a Sangoma, they'll put an audit. They want to know, how do you make this money? What are you selling that makes so much money? From where are you sourcing it? Who is your supplier?
Sure.
How come you got a swiping machine, you swipe like 10,000, 15,000. What are you selling that costs so much? Because the system alone does not allow you to prosper. Rental buildings, they don't allow Sangomas. If you declare that I'm a Sangoma, they don't allow you.
Now I get you, Babu Dokotela, meaning the planning is not by Sangoma themselves.
No, it is system. The system does not allow you to go and buy a brand new car as long as you're going to declare that you're a Sangoma.
Sure.
Because they need to know your paperwork.
Those
If
that
you say a
control.
Sangoma, they said, no, we cannot trust you that you're able to pay for this car for 5 years unless you're using cash.
Oh.
When you're using cash, and then SARS will be ordered to follow you from where you ascertain that cash.
Yeah, surely there'll be a lifetime audit.
You see. And now when you're a Sangoma, a traditional health practitioner, you're just given a small space to breathe. You just given a small, they only allow you to practice at home, meaning that there is no business you can do at home, because your home is a place where you rest, not just where you do your business. Because we learn that most people now, practitioners, they ended up practicing in their yards, because each and every commercial building, it does not allow a Nyanga to function. If a Nyanga to be functioning in the building, you must register a business that does something else. And while you are forging there as a Nyanga, but papers, they say something else. Because if you're a Nyanga, even on advertising, on TV in South Africa, national television like SABC, you cannot at daytime. Even on radio, there are certain times where people are sleeping. They'll tell you, go and advertise while people are sleeping. No one will hear you. That is a system on its own. The media coverage for Izinyanga, it is different versus other people. It is always different because the system, it is orchestrated, well planned 200 years ago, not now. Our government has nothing to do because he's captured already. He cannot do anything. Yes, 200 years ago, they planned this so that these people can never prosper. That is why you find some Inyangas, they find it comfortable to declare that I'm a Nyanga, but I'm a teacher. I'm a Nyanga, but I'm working for Sasol.
I'm double dipping.
You see, and because you cannot stand on its own and just become a Nyanga. And then to us, who practice Ubunyanga formally, once you're telling us that you are double dipping, we are not a Nyanga, we're just a herbalist. We're just a person who knows herbs. You are not a Nyanga. There's a difference between a herbalist and a traditional health practitioner.
Okay.
Those are two different things. Herbalist can be studied at university, called herbology, the study of herbs.
All right.
That you become a herbalist. If you are working, we regard you as a herbalist. There's nothing wrong about knowing Muti, but you're just a herbalist. Because you still got under control by someone else. You're still a herbalist.
Sure.
Babu Dokotela says, the plant that was planted and is still affecting us now. And even the terms that we are using, there are terms that we are not allowed to use. Because they are muti that when you pronounce the name of those mutis, it's like we are swearing. But they are muti that are called. But when you find out that we are using muti and that muti has to be banned, the reason why, because there is no varsity has authorized it. Meaning that if you're young, we have to wait for a varsity to authorize you to use muti, not wait for your ancestors to tell which muti to mix with. Like we had a challenge with COVID. People, they were using Artemisia afra, so-called umhlonyane.
Sure.
And then people, they were pushed around.
What do you call it?
Artemisia afra.
Artemisia afra.
Yes.
Wow.
And then people were pushed around. Only find out that at the backstage, these people are using African Artemisia afra. They change the name. African Artemisia afra. AAA. And then you were finding in dispensary pharmacies, African Artemisia, it's there. African Anua, it's there. That is all umhlonyane. Because one, we are non-Europeans. We became a threat to this mafia because this kind of business we are doing, it is controlled by cartel. Those are syndicate who leads people to poverty. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Babu Dokotela. Now you sounded more like a politician. Babu Dokotela, as we close the Women's Month, do you have anything to say about sugars? I'm just provoking you.
If it's a Women's Month, it's only a month that comes once a year. People don't know that.
Once a year, yes.
It only comes once a year. But if a woman, it is important to have sugars. You can have sugars as powder. You can have sugars as spray. It depending to your efficacy. If you want something really strong, use it both.
Sure.
This is for Women's Month. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Babu Dokotela. We are closing our show today. People must catch us again next time. Thank you.
Thanks.